dreams are big. Some dreams are small. Some dream to go from place to place. Dreams of love and ever after. Dreams and sacrifices that builds the future. Whatever the dream or step or journey, you can do more with a partner that cares about your dreams. Access, more than banking.
Well, welcome back. All right, please now join me in welcoming Aruna Kebira. Aruna Kebira is the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Global View Capital Limited. Global View Capital Limited is a trading license holder of the NGX. Aruna, you're welcome.
Good evening.
All right, we go straight to business. We are going to be reviewing the month of May. And again, you don't blame us. We are Stocks Watch. You rarely see such comprehensive review of the month as we are going to be doing. Okay, what we have done here is to look at the performance of the All-Share Index first for the month of May, and again, it's just a statistical issue. We have to compare one period with another. So what we have done here is to compare the month of May, where the month of April, where the market traded, that is the last trading session in the month of April. That is what we do. Some might use the first trading session against the last trading session of the month. But what we do in StocksWatch significantly is to use the last trading session against the last trading session of one month to the other. When you talk about market indicators, market indexes, you have to compare a period with a period, and this period must be in tangent. For example, you cannot compare weekly with monthly, so it has to be month against month, and then week against week. Even the daily market update that is generally being broadcast, it is day against day. So for the month of May against the month of April, there was a growth in the All-Share Index of 6.75%, right? And then market capitalization, 6.75%. But for last week, there was a decline of 2.18% in the All-Share Index of the NGX and market capitalization. But if we now stretch it to between 31st of December 2021 against the last trading session of last week, Friday, we have 23.86% as growth in the All-Share Index of the NGX and 27.93% in the market capitalization. We come to volume. For last month, April against May, there was a growth of 197.64% in volume. In days, a growth of 23.61%. I've taken time in time past to tell you what volume is, what volume is, what deal is, and then the significance of this. Then gainers for the month of April were 66 as against 49 in the month of May. And then losers in the month of April were 29. Losers in the month of May were 53. In other words, the number of gainers in May were lower than the number of gainers in April. The number of losers in May were higher than the number of losers in 29 in April. So 53 against 29. So this significantly, for someone that follows the market very well, will be telling you that there were a lot of intrigues in the market in the course of May against April. Okay, we now come to last week. Volume increased by 1,461.5%, and then deals declined by 13.21%. Value increased by 666.17%. Let me now come to Aruna. Just looking at this table, despite the high level of profit taking, which we could see in the figures I just read out now, for example, 49 gainers in the month against 53 losers in that same month, and the week-on-week decline of 2.18%, suggesting that the month of June also more or less have started on a low level. But then, likely, the market still ended with 6.75% growth in the month of May. All right? So, when you compare that, it was higher than the 5.75% recorded in April. It was better than 0.9% recorded in March. It was because, again, in March, the market was actually down by 0.9%. Then 1.7% was what the market recorded in February, despite the profit taking. In the month of May, the market still did better than what it did in February. Of course, the best so far we have seen this year had been the 9.1% recorded in the month of January. So, rating the market so far so good. Within the first 5 months of 2022, the best had been January of 9.1% growth. The second was the 6.75% recorded in the month of May. Where will you say the market got this strength, despite the profit taken?
No, let me start from what normally happens in January. You know, there is this new year feeling that the market is going to go somewhere and people will be taking position against March. And also remember that when this result have been released after March, it's supposed to be April. And most of these results, most of them have their qualification date and payment date in the month of May. So, and you know that especially this market where we are, the result could be good. There could be a rush initially. There will be a relaxation as per the demand for that stock. But when the qualification date is about a week, then you see people coming in to take position to be part of the dividend. Part of the dividend. And you know, in the month of May, we saw gains in stocks like this stock with 1 trillion capitalization. We saw in Airtel Africa, we saw in Seplat, we saw in Dangote Cement and MTN. I think that is what we are seeing in the month of May. But if you talk about, I used to hear people talk about profit taking. There is profit taking on a daily basis. The only thing I now depend on where the strength is it the buy side or the sell side? If the sell side is able to weigh down the buy side, then there could be a drop. But because if you say there's profit taking, what normally make a stock to go up, there must be an exchange of 100,000 on the buy side and 100,000 on the sell side. The person that is selling on the sell side is taking a profit, but because the volume is more on the buy side, that is why there will be an increase at the end of the day.
All right, let me put this question to you. The volume of 1,461% growth that we saw, because we could see 36.158 billion, particularly for the last week, where did it come from?
I think most of them was from big ticket transaction on the floor of the Nigeria Stock Exchange. We saw most crossings. Some of them happened in Transcorp, some of them happen in First Bank.
Now, the transaction between Titan Bank and the Union Bank was concluded last week.
Yes.
Was it?
It was part of this 1,461.5 that we are also seeing.
Okay. Now, that is just what we could see in the month of May. Now we are in June. May has passed. Being the last month that will precede another earnings season, from what you have told us now, the earnings season that ought to be for March. Because when you talk about earnings, for those who are just coming to the market, a typical quoted company is expected to release its result quarterly, every 3 months. For majority of them, because it is not all the companies that have their year end as December. There are some that have their year end as March. Some have their year end April. So, but majority, particularly the banks and insurance companies, they do have their year end as December. So their first quarter will be March. Then the second quarter would be June. So now, for those whose year end was December or is December, okay, and their first quarter result will be March. By rule, we saw their results in the market between April and May, which largely was the support that we saw in April and May. So now, June is another significant period. Why? By the last day of the month of June, which will be 30th of June, we will have seen the end, we will have come to this end of the second quarter. What that significantly suggests is every company that have their year end as December, their second quarter earnings should be getting to their accounts department, and by the middle of the month of July, we should have started seeing the management account, because for first quarter, except in rare occasions, what result that we get for the first quarter and the second quarter, as a matter of fact, third quarter, are often the management account. So, Aruna, seeing June being that what I have just explained, what are the possibilities you are seeing, noting the fact that the month actually started on a low point?
I think it might still continue to be like this. Why? We will not begin to see the quarter two result in the market until the middle of July, which is still like 4 or 5 weeks from now. And the signing investors want stocks to come down as low as they can be. They would have actually sat down and identified the stocks they want to take positions in, but they will wait and allow the market to bring them down as low as they can. That means that they will not be bullish. They will wait as much as the market can bring it down before they begin to take position. But we might see a likely action maybe the last week of June. But between now and that, the market will still begin to have this mixed trading, gain today, lose tomorrow, gain today, lose tomorrow. But by the third week of June, that it will almost be certain. And you know, there could be news filtering into the market that these people are able to replicate what they did in quarter one. Then there will not be that bullish move to take position in some of the equities. Then the market will begin to look up.
Let me show you something here, whether it might just be a guide. I want to look at the past 4 or 5 years. I can still see here extending to 2014, 2013, but because of time. From what I can see here, the month of June 2021, there was a decline of 1.4% in the all-share index of the Nigerian market. The month of June 2020, there was a decline of 3.1%. Then we go to 2019. The month of June has a decline of 3.5%. We go to 2018. Just looking at the figures here, okay, the month of June 2018, there was a growth of 0.5%, extremely marginal. Then we go to 2017. Let us see what the market did. In the month of June, a growth, sharp growth, 12.3%. Then we go to 2016 and see what the market did. The market grew 2007. As a statistician, what I can see here is that Aruna, from 2019, or let me say from 2019, the market in June has been low. All right. So and from what we have seen here, so far so good.
It has started.
It has started.
The journey.
It is showing a decline of 1.4%, which suggests that likely, except if certain strange things happen in the course of June, the market, as you have said,
because we have seen quarter one has come to support quarter four, and the effect on the prices has waned. People are waiting to receive quarter two, but the quarter two is not yet in the market. Like I said, profit-taking people will wait and allow the prices to come as low as they can be. I want to buy Guinness. Guinness is doing it in 7 naira. It's too high. There's every probability of it coming down to 15 naira. I wait, but I know I have my eye on Guinness. Chances are that if I actually wait, the market my price it down to my price, then I begin to become bullish at that time. Maybe that is the third week or the fourth week of June.
Okay, see, you will not get this kind of discussion on any media platform, either radio or TV. You can't. Okay, so this is just the best you can get. I know you have to stay awake till this late hour, particularly for those I was somewhere in the course of last week, and the man told me that he always likes to watch, but he might start and not able to end it because he will need to prepare for work on Monday. But what we are sharing with you actually is far worth more. In fact, it is worth what you should stay awake and watch. Now, Aruna, please tell us. Seeing the possibility now, seeing the kind of movement that we have seen since 2018, when the market lost, gained marginally, and then it has been a low period in the month of June 2019, 2020, 2021. And the Bible says, from the mouth of one or two witnesses,
the truth is established.
So if you begin to draw the trend line, it will favor that the market, even if it is going to gain in the month of June, it will be insignificant. You cannot compare it with May. You cannot compare it with April. Seeing this kind of possibilities, how do I strategically position myself in the market?
No.
Do I say now, hold my money, and then return to the market at the beginning of July, or do I just continue to watch without probably making any tangible investment?
If as at this time you have not sold, it's late. Because when Presco was 200, you didn't sell it. When Nigeria Brew was 77 naira, you didn't sell it. When Flour Mill was doing 41 naira, you didn't sell it. When Airtel was 1,767, you didn't sell it. If you have not sold and you know that you are not yet in the money, hold your position. But if you have cash that you want to, look at the stocks that you want to, take position in. Guinness got to 110. It's now about 87.20 or so. But there's every possibility that it can relax further. We know what happened to Guinea. We saw the 730% gain. Put your eye on it. They are about to release their quarter four, and there's every possibility of pay a better dividend because they have gotten a better growth. That is on one side. Okomu got to 215. I think
Guinness is actually 19 naira 50 kobo.
I think it's a Como 193.50. There's every possibility that it can drop lower than that. And let me tell you, when the stock has tasted the high, like that Presco getting to 200, there's every possibility that it can still taste that height of 200. There's every possibility that Guinness can still take the height of 110. Nigeria Breweries 77 naira was dropped as low as 57.70 last week, but they built it back over 60 naira. It's telling you that if it can drop to that 57.70, there's every possibility that along the line before the end of June, it can get to 57.70. And I believe at 57.70 for a stock that dropped from 57 naira to 57.70, it's a good buy. A stock at 110 that it dropped as low as 80 naira. Because even the Guinness came down lower than the 90.50 that we are seeing it. It's a good buy. Flour mill has traded for 21. I think it's about 35, if I'm not mistaken. It's a good buy. So those are the stock that you sit down and ask yourself, find a tangible price in the middle. If this stock, if it drop by 40%, it's a candidate for my portfolio. Why? Because this is the result. It has performed so much, but because of the performance in quarter one, the market has priced it to this level. But let me allow it to retrace a little bit so that by the time the quarter two result, because what I'm seeing is that the quarter two will be able to replicate what happened in quarter one. So if a stock has dropped like 30%, like 40% or 50%, better. Then you take position. You know that the moment that quarter two hits the market, 25% should be yours.
I don't know. I just went back to Presco now. We're actually saying that this stock price will come down then.
You know, it is not a rocket size. A stock that was having 5 million on offer at 180. Assuming somebody want to clear the 5 million at once, and there are 100,000 in between, it will drop it to 180. And while it was still on offer at 180, it was still more than a million, and there were 100,000 in between. That was why I got to 162.
And the 200 naira it was selling as at the time we were talking happened to be the highest.
The highest it has. So
year.
That means it has the ability of going back either to that 200 or very close to the 200.
That is why you must always call Aruna. See, you have the opportunity. Please let the number of Aruna scroll so that you can call him, and then some of these things we might not have time enough to do on air. He can actually do it with you one-on-one. And let me also tell you, we will crop this segment by segment of 15 minutes, of 10 minutes, of 20 minutes, and we use on our YouTube channel. Please go to YouTube and subscribe to Stocks Watch YouTube channel. Stocks Watch, STOCKSWATCH. Stocks Watch, plural, Stocks Watch, together on YouTube, and just subscribe so that anytime we post a video, you will be prompted. And again, go to our website, stocksng.com, STOCKSNG as in Nigeria.com. All these things would also be there. If you want to watch us live, you might have no choice than to download Lagos Television app on YouTube, and anywhere you might be across the globe, you will be able to watch us live and direct.